Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of this replay between me and this Protoss player here on Kulas Ravine. You can already see that tEtSuBo now transferring some of his probes over from his main base as well, and still trying to get even stronger economy, and also getting some immortals. So those immortals now going to pose a really dangerous situation for these marauders. These marauders taking 50 damage per shot from those immortals, and immortals fire fairly quickly as well. Immortals able to attack at 1.45, slightly slower than a siege tank, I believe, in non-siege mode. And now the immortal siege tanks fire at a rate of 3. So back over here, marauders. Wow. Excuse me as I readjust my mouth, as it is really hurting. Care about you guys, want to try to get as many shoutcasts out there before Blizzard. I don't know if Blizzard accidentally releases another patch or does anything and all of these replays are unusable, then I do not have any shoutcasts. So I'm just trying to shoutcast as many games as I can. Starport's now being brought into play, and I think I start to train up some medevacs in order to just try to act as a stronger ground army. So siege tanks and marauders. I think I also should have gotten some tech labs as well. Tech labs very strong. Banshees are a very strong counter towards zealots and immortals, since immortals and zealots are not unable to really fire back. Immortal now moving out 2 armor and also the phase disruptors, dealing 55 damage per attack. So really just able to destroy siege tanks and marauders very easily. Back over here, marauders now moving out, and now there's a large number of stalkers, immortals, and zealots that I'm gonna have to deal with over here. I do have medevacs in play to try to heal up this army, and you can see that the army wise, my opponent, the Protoss player, is still ahead, and also is ahead in terms of upgrades, sitting at 101 against my 00 upgrades. I am getting the level 1 infantry upgrades and still trying to train up a stronger army as well. So my marauders are going to be a little bit stronger, and here we go, coming into this fight. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull back, try to get my siege tanks involved in this fight as well. Now stimming my marauders, however, my siege tanks were not engaged and now trying to pull back even further. These 2 siege tanks, however, just offering plenty of damage, just continuing to splash more and more. Both sides taking a lot of damage, and tEtSuBo just really overcommitting himself into this whole entire fight, trying to take down this last immortal. Immortal taking a couple quick shots, down goes another one, but you can see all of these marauders here. I should not be engaging with so many low hit point marauders, pulling them back, able to save up those 4 here, and now trying to build a command center to try to take this natural expansion over here. So you can see me sitting on a 1500 mil army versus the 750 from the Protoss player. I'm able to squeeze out a little bit ahead there. Back over here, you can see me now training Vikings and Marauders out of the starport with no tech labs. Just the reactors, just trying to increase my production over here as I'm taking a 3rd base as well. You can see my opponent tEtSuBo, now taking his high ground, taking the 3rd base, but I'm going to be trying to take my high yield mineral location. High yield mineral location, fairly difficult to take. Now that I watch this replay, I should probably put siege tanks up here. Siege tanks up here are fairly strong, able to cover here and here as well, and able to just offer plenty of sight. You can see there's 1 siege tank over here, and I realize, like, oh, I see an observer, but I realize that I don't really have enough detectors here to really take it down. Luckily for me, he runs into a missile turret, and that missile turret takes him down. Back over here, if you take a look at the harvester count, 57 versus 47, as now another immortal just taking a lot of damage here, getting slowed down, and I'm going to go ahead and take down this proxy pylon here, and no more proxy pylon push from my opponent. However, tEtSuBo does have a fairly large army here, sitting at a 2200, really strong counters, immortals, stalkers. You can already see other weapons upgrade, and now training up some Colossus as well. Not quite sure what I'm doing with those medevacs. I need to really pull them back. Marauder siege tanks continuing to push, and just trying to deal as much damage as I can, and I really just picked the wrong fight here, out of position. And now these zealots, all of these units of Viking needs to get into that ground mode to try to reinforce, and I really just was on the wrong end of this fight here, taking a lot of needless damage. But I am getting an orbital command center, getting a planetary fortress here, so I'll start being able to mine out of these high yield mineral locations. Back over here, still trying to produce more units. You can see getting the planetary fortress, getting the vehicle weapons upgrade, marauders, and I'm also doing a little bit of a tech lab swap. I want to start trying to create some banshees, so I should probably try to drop down and perhaps get some hellions or some other units here as well. And I'm just trying to train up more marines. Marines going to be a good counter towards the units that I've seen so far, but unbeknownst to me, tEtSuBo now getting Colossus. Those Colossus, I didn't expect them to go Colossus just because I was training Vikings, and with those Vikings off the reactors, Vikings are just absolutely dominate Colossi. But those Colossi, since I didn't see any Colossi, I decided to go for Banshees instead and try to switch up my strategy even further. Back over here, you see some Medivacs, some Vikings, some Marauders just trying to hang out, still trying to fully saturate this particular base. Not doing a great job here. And as... do I have too many SCVs? Yeah, I have too many SCVs at these two mineral patches here. Really, you only need 3 SCVs per mineral patch. Gonna go ahead, I should have just transferred this up, and I think I would have had a stronger economy, and perhaps would have been able to push a little bit earlier. Colossi now still moving out. You can see both sides taking a look at the harvester count. You can see tEtSuBo now mining at 1,400 minerals, mining much more effectively than I am, since I'm still trying to mine from these particular locations, which is fairly bad. So I'm going to go ahead and start mining out of this high yield or this rich mineral location here. The planetary fortress now training up some SCVs as well. Missile turrets just in case any void rays try to come in. But unbeknownst, now stalkers and colossi now going to be coming in. Immortals fairly strong as well. So here comes another strong army coming in from tEtSuBo, the Protoss player. And I do have a planetary fortress, and now Colossus is taking some damage from my missile turrets as these units continue to move on in. SCVs transferring over at just the wrong time. Vikings now moving in, and planetary fortress trying to hold back this whole entire attack here. Marines, Marauders, Hellions continuing to fight those down those Colossi, and now Immortals now getting taken down. So that planetary fortress really helping me out. Marauders now coming in to reinforce from the back, and down go these Stalkers as well as these Banshees also going to go ahead and join up on this fight. Colossi now trying to pull back, wanting to make sure that they don't become on the losing end or the wrong end of that particular fight. As Hellions now trying to move out, I really want to be able to take down, also taking down another proxy pylon. So if you take a look at the losses, tEtSuBo losing 12,400 versus mine 7,000. So this is really my game to lose at this stage. Vikings and Banshees now coming in. Banshees now quickly cloaking and then trying to fight back even further. I should have probably pulled back these Marauders, losing a lot in that whole entire fight there. So and losing a lot of these units. We now no observers, however. So without any observers, I'm able to deal a lot of damage towards these stalkers. And stalkers now getting taken down. Going to be pulling back, and now I'm going to move over here and try to take down as many probes as I can. If I can take down some probes, perhaps try to even up this whole entire fight, even up the whole entire economic income. 13 or 14 kills on each of those units, and now I'm deciding to pull back, also taking down that last unit over here. I really want to deal as much damage as I can. I know I have the smaller army at this stage, but if I can really hurt the economies, I can perhaps pull ahead. I'm sitting on 70 harvesters versus his 57, and if I can take down more and more of these probes, so one of these units down to up to 18 kills and more units still coming in. In comes an observer though, so tEtSuBo now just working in a whole bunch of units, able to just take down all of my take down my 2 Banshees there. But the damage has already been done. If I'm able to really just stay into this game and continue to macro up even further. Production-wise, though, I ended up really slacking off. You can see that I'm sitting on 1,000 minerals, now finally training out of these, and not even training siege tanks out of one of my factories. So I'm not on top of my macro nearly as much at all. Back over here, you can see one of my Vikings going to get taken down by mass stalkers. Stalkers now upgraded 201, with those Colossus also upgraded 201 as well, since they are both ground units. Banshees now coming in, trying to offer an even further support. Perhaps I can take down some more of these units. However, too many stalkers for me to deal with. Gonna go ahead and decloak and pull back. Stay tuned for part 3 of this replay between me and a Protoss player here on Kulas Ravine.